Hello everyone, back tuning into today's third video. So we're going to have a look at the weather for the next week to 10 days for today's third video, which will take us to around the 7th of August. So we're heading into the first week of the month, well and truly, with a week to 10 day video updates. Now we'll be able to send out beyond that as well with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles, which run to around a couple of weeks. The weekend forecast has been released, and it's going to be a much more changeable week, a much more typical week, really, for our weather after that very, very extreme heat that we had a couple of days ago. Things are well and truly back to normal now, and there's nothing excessively warm coming up in the next week anyway, so have a look at weekend forecast. See what's going on there. The second season weather roundup of the autumn of 2019 was released as the first video up today. That video will be placed on the autumn updates page this evening, and there'll be a written summary that goes over everything that we discuss in the video, and I'll get that up for you this evening, so you'll be able to watch the video on demand whenever you want, and also have a read of written summary from this evening. Now, because things have calmed down, I've got a little bit of spare time, so I can show some of the pictures, finally, that was sent to us on Wednesday from Tuesday night, Wednesday morning's thunderstorms. So we'll begin here with Peter Napolina from Stratford-upon-Avon. Torrential rain there in Stratford-upon-Avon, and Peter was reporting that he had the loudest thunder that he's ever heard in the early hours of Wednesday. This one from Liam Kenwood in Maidstone, so a very, very intense lightning bolt there, ripping open the sky. Fork lightning here from Liam Kenwood, again down there in Maidstone. Looks like a very, very violent thunderstorm taking place in Maidstone on Tuesday night and into early Wednesday. This one is from Alex. I'm not sure where Alex is, but the lightning very, very intense and pretty severe. That's another one from Alex. Look how intense that lightning is, and proper fork lightning there. Looks like it's going down to somebody's TV aerial, or possibly to their chimney. I hope if that house was being struck, I hope that everybody in there was safe. So again, very, very intense lightning, proper fork lightning there from Alex with that picture. And then finally we've got Chailey Stowe, who took this at Eastbourne. So again, proper fork lightning out to sea this time at Eastbourne. There really were some very intense thunderstorms around through Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, and into early Wednesday. It's interesting that the storms earlier in the week actually were more widespread and seemed to be rather more numerous than the storms that we got with the breakdown to the heat on Thursday evening. Although the heat peaked on Thursday evening, you might have thought that's when the greatest and most widespread storms would be, as the cold front moved in from off the Atlantic and changed the air mass from that intense, incredible heat that we had on Thursday. You might have thought that thunderstorms would be more widespread then, but actually they weren't. The main storm time during this heat wave, during this hot week, was actually late Tuesday into Wednesday. So anyway, big thank you to everybody for sending their pictures through. If you would like to have your weather pics featured in the vids, then there are various ways you can do that. You can email them to us at gazweathers@gmail.com. And that's one way of doing it. You can post them in the comment box at Gazweathers. It's a Discuss comment box, so you will need to sign up for a Discuss account, but you can do it that way. And you can also share them with us on our social media pages, Facebook and Twitter. When we get the time, we're always happy to feature some of those pictures in videos. It's taken me a few days to get onto it because it's been so busy talking about the heat wave and with so much else going on. But when we get the time, we are happy to feature the pictures in the video. So big thank you to everybody for emailing their pictures to Gazweathers and sharing them with us and posting them at website of gazweathers.com. Just say if you are taking pictures of lightning, then please stay safe. Obviously, lightning is a very dangerous weather phenomenon. It can be a very dangerous weather phenomenon. And you do need to take precautions if you are trying to take pictures of lightning. It's always best to try and do it inside, if you can, inside a building, so you don't stand under any trees. Just got to have common sense about it. But if you can get those weather pictures, then we are always happy to feature them in the videos. And a big thank you to everybody for sending those pictures through to us. Right, so very different day today. We talked about this in the weekend forecast. We've got heavy rain covering many parts of the country at the moment. We've got this big, massive rain from the west of Scotland down to southwest Scotland into northern England and North Wales. It's drying up in the south for the time being, but you'll notice if I scroll down, there's more heavy rain over the other side of the English Channel. That is connected, just there, is connected to the weather front, but it's straight out across the country. So although I have at the moment got a drier slot through kind of like South Midlands, Central Southern, South East England, I suspect this next pulse of heavy rain will be moving north eastwards during the course of later this afternoon and into this evening. Generally, this rain is going to shift further westwards with time, and tomorrow I think it'll be more Northern Ireland, North West England and North Wales that will be in the firing line. Most other places should dry up tomorrow. Now, not only is it very wet across parts of the country, temperatures are so significantly lower. It's hard to believe it that in 2 days we have dropped the temperature so substantially. So the current maximum temperature for today is 23 degrees down here in the far southwest. Got Bournemouth at 23 degrees, and then where else we got this stage just here? Plymouth. Bournemouth and Plymouth are at 23 degrees, which is about average. That's a little bit below for the south coast actually, in late July. This, of course, the very hottest time of the year now. The last week of July, first week of August, statistically, is when the temperature peaks for the year. So 23 degrees, it's about normal. It's pleasantly warm, but it certainly is so much lower compared to what we had just 2 days ago. And where it's pouring with rain, it is genuinely cool. So, for example, we've got Leeds Bradford Airport here at just 15 degrees, 59 Fahrenheit. Walcott is at 14 degrees and Carlisle is at 15 degrees. These are more like afternoon temperatures in late September or early October, so you can say it does feel a tad autumnal. Down into the Midlands, you've got Wittering at just 17 degrees. Bedford is at 17 degrees. Lakenheath is at 18 degrees. Marham at 17 degrees, and so it goes on. I've got Bedford, but we have got Luton there at 18 degrees. Then we go up to Church Lawford, 16 degrees. So all those areas across central England and also eastern parts of England, we don't have, I can't seem to find Cambridge, which I wanted to show you because, of course, Cambridge is where the maximum temperatures were on on Thursday afternoon, where we got to 38 degrees. But I would imagine, I don't know what temperature is at Cambridge, but I would imagine it's kind of in this ballpark. So kind of 16, 17, 18, maybe 19 degrees. So we've basically dropped the temperature by 20 degrees centigrade in 2 days, which is a very, very impressive drop in temperature indeed, and it feels so much cooler out there, and it's much more typical for the UK in the summer. It's much more what we're used to. I would assume that most people watching this are happy with the drop in temperature that's taking place from Thursday through to today. But there we go, just to show you how quickly the weather can change in the UK, and again, just to show you what can happen. Right, central England temperature continues its rise. I said yesterday I thought we'd get to 18 degrees with the CET. We have got there now. So provisional with the CET, central England temperature up to yesterday, 26th of July. We are sitting now at 18.0. an anomaly of 2 degrees above average. I think that's as high as it's going to get, with temperatures today pegged back under, maximum temperatures I should say, today pegged back under 20 degrees. That's probably going to show a small drop tomorrow, go back down to 17.9. So I think that will be our peak for the month. And there's going to be a downwards correction as well. I think it'll be quite a big downwards correction this month. So I would suspect we're going to finish up somewhere in the mid 17s in the end. Low to mid 17s is, I expect, where we're going to finish up with the CET. But we have got to 18 degrees, which is fairly significant to note. Although bear in mind that that is higher than it will. That is higher than it should be. So if it was showing the correct the correct number, taking into account the downwards correction that's going to take place, it will probably be somewhere at the moment kind of high 17s, I would have thought. Anyway, 18 degrees is where we've got to. That's the peak for the month, I think, and then after that it will gradually lower. These are the upper air temp. No, they're not. These are the 500 millibar height anomaly flowcharts from the Penn State University. We've got the ECMWF here on the top, and the GFS is on the bottom. 500 millibars, 8,000 feet, is an area in the absolute high pressure, low pressure are being moved around by the jet stream running above. Red extrapolates to above average heights, which is high pressure. Blue is extrapolating to below average heights, which is low pressure. You see that with the ECM, we've got a northern blocking signal here in the 7 to 10 day time frame, which gets us towards the end of the first week of August now. Northern blocking appearing across Greenland and going back into the Arctic. That is sending the jet stream southwards. The jet stream is being pushed southwards with these areas of low pressure coming in along the jet stream. There's also quite a deep trough sitting across northeastern parts of Europe. The upshot is it looks relatively cool and relatively unsettled there through the first week of August. The GFS is pretty much identical. The blocking is in slight different positions, but it's basically centred around Greenland, and it is extending up towards the pole. We've also got the below average heights with the jet stream coming in underneath that blocking, the jet stream being forced southwards, of course, with this deep trough in over the eastern and northeast of Europe. Very cool air. It's probably plunging into this eastern northeastern side of Europe. But this trough of low pressure coming in from the Atlantic is going to be bringing in relatively cool Atlantic air with it as well. So I think the opening 2 or 3 days of August, which is going to be Thursday through to Saturday, could be relatively warm and with a fair amount of dry weather, but after that it does look as though, as we progress on through the first week of August, we will be turning increasingly cool perhaps, and possibly increasingly unsettled too, with bouts of rain heading in from off the Atlantic. Not really what we want to be seeing for the first week of August. I think this sums it up. This is the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensemble, and we're looking at Huddersfield today. So the red line here is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Huddersfield. You can see temperatures have returned to normal. Remember, a couple of days ago, the upper air temperatures were up there somewhere. We're now down here, so we're back to pretty much where you would expect the upper air temperatures to be at this point of the year. We do see a little bit of change from day to day, a bit above average there, a little bit below average there, for example, but not great deviations. We're close to the 30-year upper air temperature average now, and seemingly staying so for the next couple of weeks, actually. Might be a bit of a warm-up going on there. That's kind of like those 2 or 3 days I was talking about for the first couple of days of August. Thursday, Friday, maybe Saturday could get quite warm. We might see temperatures mid-20s down on the surface. But conversely, after that, further into the first week of August, I mean towards the second week of August, we may actually be seeing signs that it's going even cooler then. We shall see. More alarmingly, though, and more obviously than the temperature, is what's happening with precipitation. Look at these precipitation spikes that we have here on the bottom of the chart for Huddersfield. It looks like there's a deluge on the way for Huddersfield. Now, I have said before that I think these new Ensemble maps that they've got at West Central, I think they make the precipitation spikes look more dramatic than they are a lot of the time. So you get the impression very often that it will be very wet. It doesn't actually turn out to be very wet. But even having said that, this is a really wet ensemble for Huddersfield. So it does seem to indicate that a deluge is coming, certainly for northern parts of Britain, for the next week or two. Let's hope we don't have any problems with flooding. Temperature anomalies from the 27th of July to the 4th of August, very close to or ever so slightly above average through most parts of the country. We've certainly lost those intensely hot temperature anomalies that we were seeing earlier in the week a few days ago. Very close to average with temperature anomalies. Precipitation anomalies are generally a little bit wetter than average on the 27th of July to the 4th of August, particularly focusing for that on northern England as well. So that does explain that ensemble we was just looking at perhaps. But really most places are coming out with rather above average rainfall, particularly through central parts of the UK. This is the 6 o'clock run of the GFS, and it's for Tuesday, 30th of July. Low pressure is heading in from the south. We've got an area of low pressure moving in through Tuesday, 30th of July, bringing a lot of heavy rain with it. We go through into Wednesday. That low pressure is still with us, meaning probably by then heavy showers or thunderstorms. Here comes that little bit of a ridge at the end of the week. So Thursday, Friday goes a bit drier and warmer. There will probably still be quite heavy showers around, but I think they'll be relatively scattered at the end of the week. Temperatures will probably get to around 25 or 26, so close to 80 Fahrenheit, somewhere like central London. It will be quite a warm end to the week, but not excessively hot. By next weekend, though, this is Saturday the 3rd of August, we're already seeing that ridge beginning to weaken as low pressure is starting to move in from off the Atlantic, and here comes that area of low pressure, bringing cloud and outbreaks of rain across the country through to Monday the 5th of August. And then that's how we look at day 10. Looks like we're settling into an increasingly unsettled scenario. We are having a go at raising some heights to our south, but with this low pressure in the west, any attempt to raise the heights to the south is probably doomed to fail, as the low pressure of the jet stream just rolling over top. That's exactly what happens with this GFS run. We turn increasingly unsettled as we get to the end of the first week and into the second week of August. This is Saturday, the 10th of August, when we're actually putting down quite a cool northerly wind there. So winds are turning into the north for the second week of August on this particular GFS run. And it all looks rather unsettled and cool as we finish on Monday, the 12th of August. It's a very, very different August compared to what we've had for July from this latest GFS run. That's the GM. Again, there's that low pressure moving up from the southwest on Tuesday. That could bring some parts of England and Wales a real soaking late Monday into Tuesday. That low pressure is over country on Wednesday, bringing heavy showers or thunderstorms. Into Thursday and Friday, that low pressure gradually moves to the east, but it is still close to us actually. So even by Friday, it could still be bringing heavy showers, particularly to eastern parts of the country, more so than what the GFS was showing. Then going to the weekend, the first weekend of August. This is Sunday, 4th of August, and a little bit different to the GFS again, because this low pressure is now heading down towards Biscay, so it's all gone rather flabby with the GM. That's how we look as we finish up with the GM at day 10, which is Tuesday the 6th of August, and we're starting to move low pressure in from the northwest, starting to move that in from off the Atlantic. Looks like that's turning increasingly unsettled as well, really, through the first week of August. ECM looks like that. There's a low pressure down to the southwest that's going to bring a soaking to southern, southwestern parts of the country on Monday night and into Tuesday. That low pressure is over top of the country for Wednesday, bringing heavy showers, potentially thunderstorms. It's still there on Thursday, actually. It doesn't really get out of the way, even on Friday. So, actually, that idea from the GFS that we get this ridge building Thursday and Friday. I have gone for that in weekend forecast, but it could be a little bit more unsettled actually in the second half of the week than the GFS in particular is shown, because the ECM still has that low pressure almost, or it is over the top of the country on Friday, albeit it's filling, so it's weakening, but it's still enough to bring heavy showers, I would have thought, even on Friday. And into next weekend, well, low pressure's out to our west. Again, trying to build a little bit of a ridge across the country, but I think it's doomed to fail, really. And as we go through to day 10, low pressure is never far away, so at the very least, you would expect showers with this. And you'll notice that by day 10, winds are beginning to turn into the north or the northeast. The air is starting to originate from up here, move southwards, so increasingly cool actually, and still probably showery as we end the first week of August. These are the scenarios that we have on the table from the GFS ensembles today via the Icelandic Met Office. So these are the options that we have for the 6th of August, which is day 10, 240 hours away. They're all in agreement about northern blocking, you'll notice. We have 18 just here that have high pressure around Greenland. These ones have a trough of low pressure just to the west-southwest of us. So they're unsettled. They're bringing in kind of like a southwesterly flow. There's 17, again, with high pressure centred around Greenland. But these ones have the low pressure over and to the east or northeast of the country. They're still unsettled, but they're bringing down probably cooler winds from the north by day 10. And then there's 16 that, again, has northern blocking over Greenland. So all the options, all the scenarios are favouring northern blocking through the first week of August. They're just differing on the placement of this trough of below average heights, this trough of low pressure. These ones tend to have it centred over and just slightly to the west of the UK. They're still unsettled. All options are unsettled at day 10. Just differing slightly on the placement of the trough, and that makes a difference in terms of temperature because obviously these are the coolest ensemble members, these 17 just here, which include the control and the operational ECM run. They're the coolest because they're bringing the winds in from the north or northeast, whereas these are the warmest options. Not warm, but they're the warmest options, the 18 there and the 16 there, because they've got the winds sort of west-southwesterly. Perhaps, but they all look unsettled and relatively cool, I would have thought, at day 10. In 2 weeks' time, this is the option that we've got, and it doesn't look great. This is the 11th of August. We've got 51 out of 51 members of the ECM ensembles placing the trough of the ridge with blocking area of high pressure over Greenland, and the trough of low pressure over the UK. So they're going to be cool and they're going to be unsettled scenarios. It does look as though early August, the first half of August, could be shaping up to be very, very changeable here. And it certainly isn't looking as though we're going to see a return of particularly hot weather anytime soon. Famous last words, but certainly today the models are far away from another intense heat wave. That's not to say we can't get another intense heat wave. We know that we can get big model flips very, very quickly. Finally, just having a look at the CFS-V2. So these are 500 millibar heights broken down into week periods. The first week period takes from the 27th of July to the 2nd of August. The coming week has this strong area of northern blocking sitting to our north between Greenland and Norway with low pressure underneath it. So cool and unsettled. Really in the week ahead. Week 2 is the 3rd to the 9th of August, the above average heights, so going more towards the Canadian side of Greenland. We've got below average heights coming in from off the Atlantic into Northern Europe. The jet stream and the flow is going like that. I mean, that's about as bad as it gets if you want dry, warm, settled weather through early August. That looks very, very unsettled indeed for early August. Week 3 isn't much better. This is the 10th to the 16th of August. Below average heights then over the top of the UK. Above average heights down to our southwest, to the west of Portugal. We're probably bringing in a west-northwesterly alignment to the jet stream. That looks generally quite cool and unsettled. And week 4 rounds it all off at the 17th to the 23rd of August. Below average heights still there, more or less, over the top of the country. Above average heights, high pressure may be starting to build up from the Azores. Possibly starting to build up the Azores high as we get into the second half of August. But even then, it still looks pretty unsettled, I have to say. So, I mean, we may eventually get another ridge from the Azores high, but at the moment it looks like August, the first week, 10 days anyway, shaping up to be increasingly unsettled and probably relatively cool as well. Right, so that's it for your videos for today. We'll get the second season model roundup for the autumn of 2019 onto the autumn updates page with a written summary for you this evening. Tomorrow we've got some more autumn analogues coming up, and we'll have Gazweather's Sunday roundup, so come back for videos tomorrow. But that's all for now, and thanks for watching.